You ever wonder how Christmas managed to shine through the darkest days of World War II? Let me tell you, it wasn't just about hope and prayers. It was about grit, ingenuity, and a little bit of wartime swagger. Today, on Hidden Faces of World War II, we're diving into 7 Christmas light hacks that kept spirits bright, without a single flicker of electricity. Stick around, because these aren't just history lessons, they're survival skills with a twinkle. Back in the 1940s, blackouts and rationing were the norm. Cities dimmed their lights to dodge enemy bombers, and families had to get creative if they wanted to keep the Christmas glow alive. But did that stop the holiday magic? Not a chance. Let's jump right into the hacks that made Christmas unforgettable, even when the power was out. First up, the classic candle lanterns. Now, I'm not talking about your fancy store-bought lanterns. Folks would take old jam jars, punch holes in the lids and drop in a stub of candle. The glass kept the wind at bay, and the flicker was just enough to cast a warm, golden glow across the room. It was simple, safe, and downright resourceful. Some families even painted the jars with leftover nail polish or food colouring to add a splash of colour. That's wartime style, right there. Next, let's talk about the magic of tinfoil reflectors. With metal in short supply, every scrap was precious. But if you could get your hands on a bit of tinfoil, maybe from a chocolate bar wrapper, you could shape it into a reflector behind your candle or lantern. Suddenly, that tiny flame looked twice as bright. It's a trick that made every bit of light count, and it's still handy today, if you ever find yourself in the dark. Now, here's a hack that's as clever as it is charming salt dough ornaments. These weren't just for the tree. People would mould salt, flour and water into little shapes, then press in bits of coloured glass or even shiny buttons. When you hung them near a candle, the light would catch and sparkle, bouncing colour all around the room. It was a way to make the most of what you had, and to bring a little shimmer to the shadows. Don't forget about the power of mirrors. In homes lucky enough to have a small mirror, folks would set their candles or lanterns right in front of it. The reflection doubled the light, making a single flame feel like a whole string of bulbs. It's a simple trick, but in a time when every bit of brightness mattered, it made all the difference. Here's one you might not expect: glow-in-the-dark paint. Believe it or not, some families got their hands on luminous paint, usually reserved for watch dials or military gear. They'd paint stars or angels on cardboard, charge them up in the daylight, and let them glow softly through the night. It wasn't as bright as electric lights, but it was enough to keep the Christmas spirit alive after sundown. Let's talk about the humble oil lamp. With paraffin in short supply, people got creative, using bacon fat, leftover cooking oil, even bits of lard. A bit of cloth for a wick, a tin can for a holder, and you had yourself a homemade lamp. It might not have smelled like pine needles, but it sure beat sitting in the dark. And let me tell you, nothing says resourceful like lighting your tree with a lamp made from last night's dinner. And finally, the ultimate hack community light sharing. In some neighbourhoods, families would pool their resources, gathering in one home to share what little light they had. Maybe it was a single lantern, maybe a handful of candles, but together it felt like a festival. Songs, stories and laughter filled the air, proving that the brightest light comes from people, not power. So, there you have it. 7 ways World War II families kept Christmas shining, no matter how dark the world outside. These hacks weren't just about making do. They were about making memories, building community, and finding joy in the toughest times. If you found these stories as inspiring as I do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone who loves a good bit of history. Here on Hidden Faces of World War II, we're all about uncovering the stories that kept hope alive. Until next time, keep your light shining no matter what.